Hey everybody, thanks for listening. There's just 1 week left for the launch of my Empowered Eating course, and I wanted to talk to you about something today that is a big part of the course. It's something that we spent a lot of time on, and I wanted to do a short video just to chat about it in case this is something that you also have an issue with. So to start, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you ate when you weren't actually hungry? Now, seriously, I want you to think about it. So, is hunger the main driver for you, or is it other things? Is it maybe a rule that you think you need to eat breakfast, for example, or is it a time? Maybe you look at your watch and it's 12 o'clock, so it's lunchtime, or 1 o'clock. Maybe it's boredom. Maybe you're just eating because there's nothing else to do, or because it's there. I mean, somebody's brought this beautiful platter and you have this urge to eat it. Do you ever find yourself not being able to stop, perhaps? So you're eating when you're not hungry, as in you're overeating, or not listening to that feeling of fullness. And perhaps this happens to you when you're sad, or maybe when you're bored, or again, I said bored twice because that's a common one for me. Or maybe you're feeling just really restricted and you finally get that chance to have that food and you eat to an uncomfortable point. So all of these non-hunger cues we refer to as triggers. And there are 5 main types of triggers. We have behavioral triggers. So these are the habits. So we see the trigger and it creates the response. And that's a pretty common one. We have physical triggers. This could be that you're thirsty. It could be that you're more hungry because it's that time of the month, or it could be that you're tired, or there could be a number of reasons why you would eat for physical reasons, or think that you're hungry even though you've just eaten. There's emotional triggers. I mean, those are pretty common. That's the sadness, or the anger, or the stress, or anything really that has an emotional response and causes us to eat. And then we have the environmental. So this is the work shouts, or driving by McDonald's and seeing the golden arches. So these are environmental triggers. Popcorn at the movies is another good example. And lastly, we have cognitive triggers. And this is the, well, I already blew it, so I might as well keep going. So we're not actually still hungry. We just feel like we might as well because we've blown it and we'll just get back to it tomorrow. And there's other cognitive triggers as well, like I always overeat at Christmas, or the beliefs that we have around potentially maybe sugar. So we're addicted to sugar, so we always overeat sugar. So those are cognitive triggers. So being able to identify these triggers is really, really important. It does not mean that you can't still eat. Listen, there's nothing wrong with eating when you're not hungry, and that's important to know. But what it does is it just opens up a few more doors. So when you can identify these triggers, you can also begin to think of some alternatives. And so it empowers you because it gives you choice. Okay? That's really important. So, if we don't stop and pay attention, then often food becomes the only option because it's easy and it's there and it just quickly satisfies that need. But we're not getting as much choice or as many options. So a lot of people become concerned about that. They feel like they're overeating. They feel like food has control over them, and they really are just feeling like they need some help with that. So that's why I've done the Empowered Eating course, that and other reasons. And that's why we spend so much time talking about triggers and giving alternatives and support to work through some of those. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then definitely let me know and just comment below. But in the meantime, I hope I've at least given you something to start with, to start to think about triggers and what your triggers might be.